I think this is not going to be a very long stream, if I had to guess. But I want to go live for a couple of days now, so we'll see. Hoping at least 20 minutes long, if not longer than that. Okay. Hmm. Emotes. Cars, music, money. What's up? How are you doing today? Yeah, I don't think this is going to be a very long stream. Um, I might have to leave to go run an errand, but just chilling. That's not bad at all. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I was thinking about filming something today, but I'm not sure yet because I feel like I've just been really busy these last couple of days, even though I took some time off from my regular job. So we'll see. I have a lot of ideas. People have made a lot of requests for videos on here and on Instagram. We'll see. Am I making a meditation video on the three color aspect? Um, Honestly, I hadn't really thought about it. I mean, I guess I could. Yeah, I guess I could. I'll write it down. Let me see. Three color meditation. Yeah, I guess I could. I didn't really think about it, honestly. There's a lot that people have asked for that I haven't done one for yet. Um, Hello, Flow. The meditation videos, yeah. People seem to really like them. I was gonna make the yellow, blue, copper. I know those were some of the next ones I was gonna make, but yeah, I could go ahead and make this one too. If you have any other requests, I guess now would be the time. I remember people were asking me, was I gonna make a video for every aspect? I don't think I will unless somebody specifically asks for it. How do I know when she's communicating with me? Usually you get signs. If you're very clairvoyant, then you'll hear her or you'll see her, or you might have dreams about her. Most of the time, you just get signs relating to symbols, relating to her. Like you'll literally see images of her, or sometimes you'll see like owls or things like that. Or sometimes you'll get a strong feeling, or you'll think about her, or she'll pop in your head while you're doing something else. Those are some ways, I suppose, that you can know that she's communicating with you. You hear her voice in your head when you ask her questions. I mean, she has different ways of communicating with different people. I think it just depends on the person. Everyone really does have a unique relationship with her and a unique way of kind of interacting with her. So, yeah, what you experience is probably not what other people experience. But in my experience, I've experienced her in a lot of different ways. So, yeah, it sounds like it might be her way of communicating with you, at least for now, because it can change, especially if your abilities get stronger and they develop later on. Because before, I used to get signs from her through music. Like, I would be listening to music, and it would be made known to me that some of the lyrics were messages directly to me from her. And then I was using tarot cards to communicate with her. to kind of get messages intuitively, and now I just channel with her directly, which is more, I guess we could say, might be more advanced for some people, but that's just where I'm at with it. I mean, I'm pretty pleased with where things are with my relationship with her. Honestly, I didn't really expect to go live today. Um, but I want to get in the habit of going live more often or make it like a regular thing. So I don't want to, because I don't post videos as often as I want to. And plus, I feel like I don't really get to communicate with people that often anyway. Do I have a 7 times reversible statue? Oh, you have a 7 times reversible statue. Can I make a video about her? Well, I'm not sure what that means, a 7 times reversible statue. I mean, you mean like a 7 color statue? I'm an artist and I paint. Is it okay if I paint other stains? I mean, I paint too. I mean, I know a lot of people who paint their own artwork and their own statues for sure. I'm assuming you mean a 7 color statue. I mean, some of those statues come in more colors than that. I think 7 is probably like the standard, but the colors that come on a 7 color aren't even standard anyway. So it's kind of I think it can be confusing for new people. It's the black and red statue, but more strong. What makes it more stronger? Because I just know black and red statues, the reversible ones. Saints. Oh, you're asking, is it okay if you paint pictures of other saints? Oh, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, I mean, I draw pictures of other uh, saints once in a while. I mean, I've drawn pictures of Jesus Malverde, Saint Expedite, Saint Jude. I mean, the art you create, I mean, she's very supportive of it. She's very supportive of her devotees that are artists, no matter what your trade or your skill is. If you're like a cook, or if you do crochet, if you paint, if you do metal work, if you make jewelry, if you do clothing design, if you sing, if you play an instrument, like she's very supportive of the arts, whatever it may be. Painting a an image of another saint isn't like betraying her, or I don't, it's not gonna make her jealous. I think she just wants all of us to follow our passions and do what makes us happy. Uh, the black and red statue. I've never heard of one that returns stuff by 7. That's a If you really can do that, then that's really strong. 7 times reversible in some botanicas. Honestly, I haven't been in a botanica in a long time. I don't really have good experiences in there. Always, there's always people trying to like I mean, not that they're bad people, but a lot of time they're just very manipulative. But I guess in a way they have to be a little bit to make certain sales. But it feels like they like prey on people sometimes. You're welcome. Um, but I've never heard of that 7 times statue. I will write that down so I can look it up later. I did make a video just about the half red, half black aspect, and I did make half red, half black meditation music. I'm sure you've probably seen those already, but if you haven't, they are on my channel. They do exist. Um, but yeah, yeah, she's definitely a supporter of the arts, we'll say, for sure. Because I like to paint too. I'm a great teacher. I don't know about that. I think of myself as a normal person who just gets excited to share information with other people. I don't really think of myself at the moment as a teacher. I think there's so much more for me to learn. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'd be more I feel like I would give myself imposter syndrome if I started running around calling myself a spiritual teacher. At least at the moment, I feel like I'm more of a student than anything. The rainbow statue, I don't have any statues like that. Actually, I feel like people would assume I have like the whole variety of statues. I hardly have any statues. The half red, half black statue. I would like one because they look really cool. I don't know if I would use that aspect. I don't really have a reason to communicate with that aspect in my day-to-day life. Although maybe if my channel or my social media presence gets stronger, then I might have to invest in one eventually. More than likely. I only have a red, white, black, and gold for now. For the longest, I only had the white. I only just recently, like this year, I got the black and the red. But before that, I never had one of either of those, surprisingly. But yeah, I do hope to get more soon. I don't know if I'll get a rainbow statue. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'd rather just have individual colors for every statue. But I do want to get a. You have a few multicolored combination statues. I've seen some really interesting ones. I don't think all of them represent different aspects, but I think they more represent different things Santa Muerte can do. Or I see a lot of botanicas or spiritual shops, they'll sell like certain colored candles, like the Find a Job candle. I think that one is usually like green and pink. And then I've seen Santa Muerte statues painted, like the top half will be green, the bottom half will be pink. So I feel like a lot of spiritual shops, they'll take kind of creative liberties with the way they paint their statues to kind of mimic certain candles that they sell in their shops, which I think is kind of neat, I guess. To me, it doesn't take away anything from the power of Santa Muerte. I think it's just kind of color combinations that we can use to better kind of hone in on certain things we were trying to manifest for ourselves with her, alongside her, I guess. A few multicolored combination. I think a lot of times people have to buy those colored combination statues because they have trouble finding solid color statues in certain colors like silver, copper, even purple sometimes, or brown. I know those colors aren't like super common, and sometimes you can only find them on the color combination statues. But I definitely plan on getting individual colors if I can help it. Hopefully, I know you can get them on eBay and Etsy, but they charge an arm and a leg sometimes. It would be easier just to go to Mexico and buy statues over there because they're way more inexpensive. I guess when you buy them locally, when you buy them from the source, but haven't been over there in a long time. And there's just so much stuff going on in that part of the world, we'll say. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, they do cost a lot. Yeah, everything does cost an arm and a leg. Especially, it's really bad in the spiritual community when people who sell stuff. And I don't mean like if some shops are moderately priced or they're it doesn't feel like a rip off. It feels more reasonable. But I've seen some places, especially if you go into like a physical store, they tend to charge like crazy amounts. But again, it's the Hispanic shops, the botanicas or the yerberias, they charge crazy. A lot of times they don't even have. It's kind of a pet peeve with those places. A lot of the time, like 90% of the ones I've been in, and I've been in a lot of them, they often don't have. They don't have the prices listed on anything. They Nothing has prices listed on it, and it's like they just kind of guess what they want to charge you in the moment. Like maybe they'll charge you 60, maybe they'll charge you 90 for a statue if they choose to in that moment. Like nothing has prices on it, and it's like it can be really frustrating because it always feels like I'm getting ripped off if I go in one of those places. And I have had some of them kind of use kind of fear mongering tactics to try to kind of push certain services on me. Like I remember somebody convinced me that my life was just going to go, you know, downward Like everything was just going to go wrong in my life, and I will never come out on top with any area of my life because somebody had cursed me and I needed to do this elaborate $300 ritual with them, and they're the only one who can do it. And it involved like a coconut in the middle of the night and walking backwards and throwing water on yourself, and it was like a whole bunch of crazy stuff. And back then, I was so much younger. I didn't understand, um, that I had options, and I really was afraid. They really had me like fearing for my life because I was just so naive and I didn't know any better. But also, I was also really poor. I didn't have any money, so I couldn't afford, the rip-off service anyway. So I guess in the end, it didn't do me any harm because I didn't fall for it. Or maybe I guess I did. I just couldn't afford it. But yeah, it's just kind of funny, I guess. Oh yeah, flea markets are really cool, but I haven't been to one in a long time. There's some really good ones near where I live, but I haven't been. It's funny because I used to see the Santa Muerte statues in the flea markets before I knew who she really was, before I even started working with her. And I always thought they were really cool, and I would go up to like the life-size statues, and some of them would be like 10 feet tall. They'd be crazy. And I haven't been to any flea markets since becoming a devotee. So I haven't been to a flea market in a couple years. B Blair, what's up? How are you doing today? Yeah, definitely flea markets are definitely better. Well, sometimes it depends where you go. It just comes down to the owner of like the little shop or the little stall. But there's some pretty good ones, I think, near where I live. Because I live in Houston, so there's a really big presence. Best place to get statues, the flea markets. Oh yeah, but I haven't been in a long time. Maybe. Well, I am off for a few days. I guess I could go. It'd be kind of cool. Although I don't really have the money to spend on a statue right now, so maybe I shouldn't go. Although I do want. I'm not sure which one I would get next. Probably purple, honestly. I've been trying to amp up my spiritual practice. I guess I feel like it's kind of been slacking off a little bit. But I feel like my life's just been really all over the place, and I have so much stuff I'm working on too. So it just feels like I don't know. Feels like it's time to get things in gear a little bit. Yeah, I took a couple days off from work and I wrote down like at least 20 videos I hope to film while I'm off for this next like week and a half or so, maybe 2 weeks. And everything that's been requested of me, I have written down. I've written down all the video requests I've gotten, but I don't know how many I'll actually end up filming. Honestly, I wanted to film yesterday and the day before, but I just kind of been my thoughts on Gnosticism. Um, Aztec dress Santa Muerte statues are a big thing right now. My thoughts on Gnosticism. I mean, what is Gnosticism? I can't remember what it is. Honestly, let me see. I'm gonna look it up right now. I don't remember what it is. I feel like I should know what it is, right? Gnosticism. It's Christian. Gnostic. The world was created by the demiurge. So this has to do with the demiurge. Uh, I do have thoughts about the demiurge, but I don't know if that exactly is what you're asking me. Um, there's the Christian stream and the Hellenistic stream. Hellenism is like with the Greek stuff, right? I think, or the Roman stuff. The Aztec dress on the Muerte. I I've channeled about that a little bit, but it's not time for me to talk about it yet. I think there's a lot more to the Aztec related stuff. There's so much. I've channeled I feel like, or I thought I had channeled a lot about it, but Santa Muerte basically told me, no, you haven't. There's a lot more that you need to learn about it before you even talk about it. So I guess it's really deep and really complicated, and or not complicated, maybe more nuanced. There's a lot to it. But I will say that I think the Aztec Santa Muerte statues are super cool. I think they're really neat. Um, Honestly, the whole Aztec pantheon is crazy. They're like super. I always think of them as very OP. Like they're very strong. Not that I'm comparing the strength of different pantheons, but I just think they just very very powerful. I feel like people don't really. I never hear about people who work with them really. The Aztec pantheon. I I know people work with like the Norse or other. Also, the Hawaiian pantheon is really neat. Also, I think those two, the Aztec and the Hawaiian pantheons, are really cool. Um, Meme Lord, what's up? How are you doing? Yeah, I don't. I like to think one day I'll get an Aztec Santa Muerte statue, but if I did, it would probably just be for like decoration or just like because I have the statues on my altar, but I have more statues of other saints that I have in the room because I just like collecting saint statues. Really, I just like researching and studying saints. I don't know, it's just like a weird like little hobby. And so I read about all these like dozens and dozens of different saints, and I have a couple of saint statues. Uh, they're on a shelf next to me. Yeah, I don't know that much about Gnosticism. Apparently, I guess I'm not that knowledgeable. Maybe I need to go back to school or take some religious history classes. But yeah, I don't really have a. I can't really weigh in on it at the moment. Not until I read more about it. And if any of you have any video requests, I guess go ahead and make them now. And if it's within my realm of knowledge, then I will try to make a video about it over the next couple days. I'm gonna try to just film like a crazy amount of videos, and I'm probably just upload them all right away. So now is the time, I guess. How do I communicate? Do I communicate with Anubis? No, I've never worked with him or communicated with him. I I do feel some kind of connection to Egypt. I always have, but I've never worked with him or any. I've never worked with any of the Egyptian pantheon, as far as I know. What can I do if I'm feeling disconnected from Santa Muerte? I normally see her in dreams, but she hasn't appeared lately. I think it's very normal for beings to pull away sometimes. It's happened to me before with Santa Muerte. Yeah, obviously, it doesn't mean that she's given up on you or that, you know, anything like that. It just means that things are okay. Sometimes she'll be more present when you're struggling with more things, or you need more help with stuff, or she'll be more present when y'all are establishing your relationship more, just to let you get a feel for her and to know that she is there. And sometimes she'll just pull away, or not pull away. Sometimes you just won't sense her. I guess I should say more like that. So it's not that she isn't around. I would probably just say she just doesn't feel the need to make her presence known because your relationship with her is probably already established. So there isn't really a need to. And whenever she feels the need to do so, she will come back, in a dream, or she'll appear to you, because it's happened to me before. Like I've gone like even like probably a couple weeks without like really sensing her, and then but I don't question if she's still a part of my life, and then she'll just randomly pop back up and be very like talkative or very like apparent, in my life. I think it's normal for not just with Santa Muerte, but even if you work with other gods or goddesses or saints, like it's perfectly normal. I have recently become a Christian, but I'm still a devotee of Santa Muerte. I pray to Jesus, etc. at her altar. Do you think I should have a separate altar for that? Yeah, I think you should have a separate altar for that. You know, I don't even think you need an altar for communicating with Jesus. I mean, oftentimes when Christian people are very religious, they tend to just have like religious paraphernalia all over their house anyway. But or that people have prayer cards or pictures. But no, I wouldn't pray to somebody else at Santa Marta's altar. I would just save the altar space for her. That way it can kind of, because they're just different beings, different paradigms, different, currents, different religions. Not that Santa Muerte is like her own religion, but yeah, I wouldn't pray to Jesus at Santa Muerte's altar, you know, because you could make your own like little separate space for him. You know, I think if a being has a certain amount of importance, then I would feel inclined to give them their own little space anyway, even if it is really small. You know, um, yeah, because there's a lot of Catholic people that are also devotees, and I feel like somebody told me before that there are people who are other religions that are also devotees of Santa Muerte. Like there are pagans who are also devotees. I mean, we're so often we hear about Catholic people being devotees, but Santa Muerte, her reach is very global. So I feel like she really is becoming present on like all the continents. Probably not Antarctica at the moment. Well, I mean, she could have a devotee out there for all I know, but I doubt it. But all the other continents, seems like she's kind of all over the place in a good way. But yeah, it's just I feel like Santa Muerte devotion is really changing, especially with the internet the way it is right now. People have access to all the information so easily, and people can kind of do whatever they want, on their own. So yeah, I think yeah, I've had a lot of people from like other countries tell me that, oh, I live in like Poland, or I live in Russia, or I live in New Zealand, or I live in Australia, or China or something, and they tell me that they're devotees of La Santa Muerte, and I think it's really cool, how global she is. Any supernatural stories I can share? Um, hmm. Well, I don't know if I'm supposed to share this. You know what? I won't share that one. Well, hmm, that I can share. I'll just say one time there was an entity that I had accidentally called out to. I didn't mean to. It was purely by accident. And I remember I was just super, because I do a lot of research about a lot of different kinds of beings, and I was researching this one, and I accidentally, I guess I was just so hyper focused on it, and I was trying so hard to learn about them, and I did so much research, and I didn't realize that I unwittingly like called out to them. I had no idea, and I went to sleep that night, and they appeared to me in a dream, where they like attacked me in my sleep. Like it was really scary. They appeared, and they went like that, and like this dark energy came off of them, and it made me like unable to breathe, and I woke up from the dream with sleep paralysis, and they were standing like in the room with me, like right in front of my bed, like on the wall, like the shadow and the shape of the being, and I was laying there and I couldn't move. I can only move my eyes, and so that's kind of a funny story, I guess. Well, it wasn't funny at the moment, but when I think back on it, it's kind of interesting, I guess. Does that count as a supernatural story? Yeah, it was crazy. Um, what colored aspects of Santa Muerte comes for recently deceased devotees? Hmm. Honestly, if I had to guess, probably the black or the gray. The black or the gray or the light gray. But I would say generally probably the black for sure. Uh, and I have a video about the gray on my channel too. It's an older video. back before I showed my face. I used to do voiceovers. It was done as a voiceover. I do have a I do have Christian items around for sure. Crucifixes. I like having a space to empty myself and connect in general. I ask because I prayed the rosary to her as an offering. Yeah, the rosary is a really good offering to give. I've only prayed it maybe 2 or 3 times in my whole life to Santa Muerte. I'm kind of too ADD, so it's a little difficult for me, but it's pretty good. It's a pretty good offering. It gives a lot of energy. Prayer does give energy to her. Prayer is in itself an offering, and rosary is such a long and involved type of prayer that it's very potent. Uh, yeah, I haven't. I actually don't even know where my rosary is, or I think I do actually. But yeah, I think the black is mostly for. I mean, she has to do the most heavily with just death in general, but I do know that the gray has to do with like cemeteries and people who are deceased, and the light gray, I think it has to do with recently deceased children, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I think you can quote me on that. The light gray has to do with children spirits, and the regular gray is just spirits in general, and the black is just obviously death, dark energy, Saturnian energy. But yeah, I yeah, there's so many aspects. Honestly, I think a lot of them are so tiny, like so minor. I think there's only a few like major aspects, like the black, white, red, and then gold or pink or blue. But there's so many minor aspects, like the maroon. And there's so many I've channeled about that I have not talked about online before. Like I know there's a ruby, emerald, jade, sapphire. What's a good colored robe of Santa Muerte that's good for exorcism and clearing a space? My girlfriend and I moved recently, and we've both noticed something in the new place. We both see or hear things often. Um, oh, definitely the copper, of course. The copper is good. The copper is the one that is specifically for exorcisms, and I know it was verified when I channeled about it too. The copper is for exorcism primarily. Um, the copper works with other things too, but I do know exorcism is a specialty of the copper, but also the black. The black aspect is good for sending away other spirits, like ghosts, like human ghosts, or like probably like little astral parasites, things like that. Brown, the brown robe. Well, I mean, whatever robe you call on, I mean, at the end of the day, you're still calling on Santa Muerte. No matter what aspect, no matter what specialized aspect, she's still going to have dominion over the dead. That's just her jurisdiction. But as far as like very specific specialty colors, I channeled that the copper was used for exorcism. Before I did any channeling, I had heard that the copper and the brown were both used for exorcisms. When I channeled about the brown, I don't think I got any information about it being involved with exorcisms. But if that's what you've used before, then I wouldn't like ask you to stop or tell you that you're wrong or something. We all have our own experiences, and at the end of the day, everything I channel is just my own unverified personal gnosis. But I can't remember. I think the brown was more, in my experience, to do with purity, like protecting like the chastity of like nuns and monks and things like that, and also protecting children from like arranged marriages or something like very oddly specific like that. Um, yeah, I think. There's another brown robe. I can't remember because there's regular brown and then there's the. I feel like I channeled something about a light brown aspect. Is there going to be a part two of the animal companion video? I'm sure there is. Because I channeled that those aspects or those companion animals existed, but I don't know anything about them. I don't know what they represent. I don't know. So, and me, I want to know everything. So, anytime I learn about anything new, I always follow it up with asking more questions about that. So, 100% there will be a follow up, but honestly, probably not anytime in the near future, to be perfectly honest with you. I because there's like 40 videos I've been wanting to film, and there's a lot of aspects that I haven't even covered on my channel just yet. But I do definitely plan on channeling more about the animals soon. I'll write it down. Maybe I'll prioritize it. But yeah, definitely gonna be more because the only one I've channeled about I think is just the I channeled about the peacock, the black one, but I have not channeled about like the dragon or the boar. I don't know what any of them represent really. Um, Before we moved and in the process of moving, we moved out of state. I told her I would get her a new statue as appreciation. How do I go about getting rid of an old statue? Donate it to Botanica. Um, you don't have to donate it. You could sell it. You can give it away. You can sell it. I know sometimes people will just like cleanse the statue, like clear it of all energy, and then it'll just be free to just be given to another devotee if you want to. Um, I've never heard of anybody donating anything to one of those kinds of shops or botanicas, but I mean, you could. I mean, well, you could always go in there and ask if they'll accept a statue, which I feel like they probably would because they're just very eager for people's money and their people's business. So it's like it's basically free inventory for them. So I feel like they would probably accept it. But I've never heard of anyone doing that. Sometimes people sell them on eBay, or they'll just hold on to it until they find somebody to give it to. Um, you can sell it on Etsy. I mean, you really have options. Like, yeah, yeah. I mean, you could really, it's really your choice. Um, you could just cleanse it, like clear it of all the energy that the statue has accumulated, and you could just put it away. Some people keep multiple statues of the same color on their altar. Um, I usually prefer to just have one of each color on the altar, but everyone's different, and some altars are very large. Some people have an entire room in their house dedicated as an altar. Um, my altar is kind of small, um, and I haven't had to get rid of any statues before, so I don't know. I mean, it's really up to you though. It's really up to your discretion. But yeah, you could probably try and donate it. They might accept it. I feel like they probably would. But some people who work in some of those shops are a little funny acting sometimes, because they just yeah, I've just had a lot of experiences with those places. Um, but it's not all bad. I mean, some of the people are kind of cool. Um, there isn't where I live. None of the botanicas have people that speak English. Like I think the last 7 or 8 different botanicas I went inside of, the people who worked there spoke not a lick of English. And out of all the ones I went to, out of the last 7 I went to, only one of them took like credit card or debit card, and the rest of them you had to pay in cash, which I don't keep cash on me, so it was like a hassle. And it was always awkward because it's like you go in there and there's usually you'll be the only one, the only like customer in there most of the time. And so they're just like eager for you to buy something. So they're just like watching you or following you around or asking you a lot of questions. I prefer to just like have a look around myself and kind of see if anything catches my eye. But they can make it a little awkward sometimes, I guess you could say. But I prefer to buy online these days. I don't usually go inside these days because I'm usually disappointed a lot of time with the selection. Me and girlfriend, my girlfriend and I have a space for our altars. They're literally inches from each other. What my practices at my own altar interfere with hers. So, however, so many questions. I appreciate you. I have no problem answering any amount of questions. You can ask as many as you want. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm live, just to chat with you all and see what you want to know. Are the altars both Santa Muerte altars, or are they like totally different? Are they different, like currents of magic? Are they different saints? Like, I think that's like a big question. Are they altars dedicated to the same being? I only have two altars in my house. Um, one for Jesus Malverde and one for Santa Muerte, but they're pretty spaced apart. They're on like opposite sides of the room. Neither of the altars are very large. I do hope to upgrade both of them one day. You know, if when I become more successful and make more money, we have to speak that into existence. We are both devotees. Her altar is very large. Her statue is about 4 feet tall. Mine is very small and simple. Oh, if they're both Santa Muerte um, altars, yeah, it's probably perfectly fine for them to be like close, or probably even if they were on the same like surface, like if they were all on one large table, it would probably be fine, honestly. Um, but yeah, having them a few inches apart, I think that is absolutely perfectly fine. 100%. 4 feet tall, that's pretty tall. It's like the size of a small child. I think my largest statue is probably 12 inches tall, and that's my white statue. The rest of them are like 10 inches tall, the black one and the red one. I have like a 8-inch tall gold one. Have I ever seen a brief physical manifestation of Santa Muerte? And if so, is she tall? I've seen her physically 3 times, and she is very tall, as she appeared to me. Santa Muerte, from what I understand, she appears at varying heights. Um, so, but I've heard of her appearing like average height of like an average person, and I've heard of her appearing like super tall, like 11 feet tall, like super, like mega tall. So, when I saw her, I was laying down, so I guess that's not really a good way to like gauge how tall she was in relation to me. But when I saw her in my dreams, she was like the same height as me, which is about like 5'10", like 5'10". I'll just say 5'10" on a good day. So yeah, in those dreams, I was like face to face with her. But now I remember another dream I had. Another dream. The first time I had a dream about her, and it was the white aspect. And she was, if I had to guess, maybe like 7 feet tall. Like I remember having to like look up to her when she was standing in front of me. The one I had with the black Santa Marta, the dream I had, she was like the same height as me. So yeah, she appears in various forms and various ways, various heights, various ages, various ethnicities, various forms, various types of religious clothing, um, sometimes skeletal, sometimes human. Um, yeah, there's a huge variety to just ways that she can appear. It's really interesting. You know, there's one devotee that I'm very close to, and she's appeared to him in all kinds of like super crazy, very unique forms. I imagine her to be super tall because she has to carry us all after death in her arms. Uh, Also, would you ever have a Discord for devotees to share their work, altars, and experiences? Um, yeah, I don't see why not. Somebody's asked me before to if I wanted to create a Discord. I I've thought about it. I'm not that familiar with Discord. That's why I haven't done it yet. I would probably have to teach myself the ins and outs of it. But once I learn about it, I don't see why I couldn't, have a Discord. Like right now, I have Patreon, and I don't really offer any like real rewards on Patreon. Not much. Like the only thing I offer over there is all the pictures that I use in all of my videos, like all the different Santa Muerte related pictures. I post all of them on Patreon, like full resolution. So if you like any of those pictures, you can just find them on my Patreon. If you are like, if you're paying a Patreon subscription or whatever. And I remember at one point I thought about having a like access to like a Discord server if you're like a Patreon member. But at the same time, I felt like a Discord server could benefit so many people, and I wouldn't want it to be, I didn't want to exclude anybody from access to something like that if they couldn't afford to be a patron on Patreon. And I really don't like the idea of keeping content behind a paywall. And it's not a knock against people who have Patreons that do that with magic and stuff, but I just feel like, as it stands right now, I don't feel like there's enough. I don't feel like I have enough information at my disposal to kind of separate it, and I still feel like a pretty small creator anyway. So I don't really want to gatekeep any kind of information that I channel. Really, that was kind of a tangent. That was a. I probably will make a Discord eventually. Um, I'll write that down. Yeah, I probably will. I probably will do that. I don't know how soon though, but if I do make one, it'll be free for everybody, not just for people on Patreon. Because I do want to do something special for people on Patreon. I thought about making like Santa Marta stickers or something, but or like little like prints, like little physical prints of some of the pictures I use on my channel, but I'm not sure yet. Um, and yeah, she probably, I mean, she appears like a lot like human size to us most of the time, but I imagine her being as powerful as she is, she could probably like appear like the size of a titan if she so chose to, you know. So I imagine she can probably be like a giant to us. Which aspect of Santa Muerte do I connect to the most? Definitely the white. Um, I've always been very connected to the white aspect more than anything. I've had a lot of experiences with the red and the white. I mean, the red and the black. A lot. They're all three very present in my life. Like, definitely. All three of them. But I would say the white probably the most. I feel like, or maybe I guess at this point, maybe the white and the red the most. Most of the time when I channel at the altar, it's it's the white I'm talking to. Sometimes it's the red. Uh, I've seen her at about 6 feet tall in my visions. Yeah, she is a tall lady most of the time. I'm trying to think if I've ever known of her to appear as a child or like a form that was kind of short, but I can't think of one off the top of my head. Yeah, I've seen her appear from like 5'10" up to at least 7 feet tall, if I had to say. But yeah, in my visions, I can't tell how tall she is. I'm not usually physically in the vision most of the time. Most of the time in the dreams I have with her, though, she is. Hello, Miss Tippy Wong. How are you doing today? Thank you for your videos on Santa Muerte. You're very welcome. I do want to make a lot more videos on other platforms too. Like I want to start posting more to TikTok as well as to Instagram, like Instagram Reels, and I want to post to TikTok, but I'm just not sure what kind of content. I might go back through all my YouTube videos and just like take little clips and like just repurpose them and upload them to TikTok because I don't want to have my whole presence just be on one platform. I love the music that you do for her. Yeah, I have no problem making like music. If there's a color you want me to make music for, just let me know. You've helped me grow my journey with her so much. That makes me really happy to hear, honestly. I feel like sometimes I feel like I just there's not too many people I talk about Santa Muerte with or about in like real life. And I feel like sometimes the all the content I make, it feels like I don't know how much of a difference it makes for a lot of the people who watch the content. So it is cool anytime anybody reaches out or lets me know that it like helped them on their journey or something. Because a lot of times I just feel like I'm not sure how much people are really benefiting from what I'm doing, but I do feel passionate about sharing anything I learn or my own personal experiences. At the end of the day, there's a bigger community. Yeah, there's a lot of community for Santa Marta on TikTok, but the people I've been a little wary of TikTok because I know people can be very toxic on TikTok. The whole really, and not just with Santa Muerte, like the whole occult community on TikTok, on Witch Talk, it's all it's pretty crazy. A lot of people will like just cause like drama or try to start beef or call people out or like drag other people's content just for like clout or just out of boredom. I don't want to. I really don't like to make waves or challenge other people's beliefs, but I feel like it's inevitable, especially posting on the internet, especially on social media. Um, does she have a music form? Um, hmm. I don't know if there's like a form that is just specifically relating to music. I'm trying to think something to do with music. Hmm. I'm not sure. I mean, for learning music, I know the blue is good for like learning something new. And I know that the emerald, well, maybe not the emerald, because actually, now that I think about it, I think the emerald is more for like physical skills, physical trades. I feel like there's an aspect to help you learn instruments better, but I can't think of it. Yeah, the blue robe would probably be good for learning music, or at least learning a new skill. If there is one that helps specifically with music, I'm not thinking of it for whatever reason. I don't think there is. Um, I'd have to ask her directly. But whatever form you reach out to, I mean, she loves music a lot. Um, let's see. TikTok is just weird. Oh, I'm glad I'm making a difference. TikTok is just weird. Do your own thing on YouTube and on your own platforms. Your people will find you. Yeah, no, well, I do plan on expanding to TikTok and Instagram because I mean anything can happen with a social media site. Like they could like the rights to YouTube could be sold and the site could be taken down or something. Or there could be like a clerical error. My channel could just get deleted or something. And that'd be like a worst case scenario, but stuff like that has happened to other people. And I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. If something happened to my channel, then at least I would have a whole bunch of content on Instagram or TikTok or somewhere else so that people can still have access to what I've made so far. So, yeah, that's part of the reason why I want to expand to other platforms. Plus, I feel like I'd be able to reach more people, of course. Mm, it definitely makes a difference. I don't have others to talk to other than my significant other. I share a lot of your content with her, and it makes me feel more confident in my practice. That's really good. I'm flattered that people like what I do enough to kind of share with other people. Like I feel like it'd be easy to compare my content to someone else's, but I feel like the more videos I make, the more I start to get a feel for my own self a little bit more. The more comfortable I get, the more I start to feel more confident in what I'm creating and putting out in the world. Um, I haven't met any other devotees in real life. I don't know. I don't know anybody who's a devotee in real life. Like I don't have any friends in real life that are devotees. Like I have none. I don't know anyone in real life. I've seen a few devotees, like I've gone to some botanicas and the owner will be like a devotee. Or like I was at the dollar store the other day. It was literally like last year. I don't know why I said that. And the woman who rang me up, she was wearing a Santa Muerte necklace. And I really wanted to say something, but I was just like, no, I won't speak about it. But yeah, I mean I see devotees from time to time, but I don't know anyone who's a devotee in real life that I'm like personal that I have a personal relationship with. So if it makes you feel any better, I don't know anybody IRL who's a devotee either. Um, her blue robes would probably help musically. Definitely, at the very least, it'll help you with learning a new skill. Um, Only the Botanica, the Santa Muerte have a feast day. Lots of other saints do. Does Jesus Malverde have one? They both have one. Um, Santa Muertes, it's in August. I can't remember what day. I want to say the 17th. That could be totally wrong. It could be. I want to say. Um, so there's actually debate, I guess you could say. Some people say her feast day is on in August, and there's like a specific day I can't remember. And other people say her feast day is in on Day of the Dead. So some people will do something for her on her feast day or her alleged feast day in August. Other people Day of the Dead. Um, you could do both, or you could do neither, I guess. Um, but yeah, she doesn't have an official feast day. Some people claim it's in August, but there's not even an agreement on that. And Jesus Malverde, he does have a feast day too, but I can't remember what day that is. You will have to Google it. I feel a little bad. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, they do both have feast days. Um, we are your friend devotees. Thank you. I appreciate that. Google says August 15th. Oh, San La Muerte. Yeah, it's easy to get them confused. Um, I feel like a lot of new devotees will get them confused too, for sure. How long have I been live? I don't even know. I guess it doesn't matter. But I might have to get off in a little while because I think I might have to leave to go run an errand. Let's see. A little off topic, but since it's on topic, do you know about any biblical verse that mention mermaids or mermaid like saints? Hmm. I've never heard of any mermaids mentioned in the Bible at all. Mermaid like saints? I don't know of any. Well, I know. I mean, I guess I don't know if she counts as a saint. I know. Yeah, my. I always get the. I think she's an Orisha, right? She's a saint. I mean, she's a mermaid, but I guess that's not like a saint exactly. Someone told me they took it out of the Bible. Well, I mean, it's possible. I mean, I feel like there's like just like endless amount of like entire books that were omitted from the Bible over the years. Not to mention there's literally like 800 different versions of the Bible, each with like different information. So it's possible that something like that could have been in there and taken out. But I've never heard of that before, if it is true. I'm in Bible school right now, and I don't know if there are mermaids in the Bible, to be honest. Yeah, I've never heard of that before. I mean, I'm very um, intrigued if it's true, but because mermaids are pretty cool, but I don't know anything about that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know that much about the Orishas. I used to get them confused with the Loa before I did more research. Like in Voodoo, they have the Loa and then they have the Orishas and the rest of the beings from the Yoruba traditions. I'm a Neo Templar devotee. of Santissima. What is Neo-Templar? Like Knights Templar? Like the Freemasonry type of stuff with like the different like levels of initiation? Jesus was a fisherman, so it makes sense. Um, I really don't know that much about Jesus, honestly. I know he was Jewish, right? And he was from Israel or something. He's from the Middle East or somewhere, and he's very ethnic looking. He's very brown skinned. I know that all the current images they use of Jesus are modeled after a certain king's son, and the original Jesus was depicted as kind of dark skinned at heart, but not part of the Freemason order. I feel like I kind of know what you're getting at with the neo Masonry thing then. And if so, I think it's actually really interesting. It's very unique. Yeah, I mean, I don't really consider myself part of any real religion. I just consider myself to be very spiritual, which I know is like kind of like a cop out because people can be claim they're just spiritual, but I feel like I have a deep appreciation for all facets and all the different currents and stuff. Jesus was a carpenter, his friends were fishermen, and yes, Jesus and his homies were all dark skinned. Hi everyone, hi Leroy, greetings from Poland. Akihiro, hello, hope you're doing well. Poland, they speak Polish. You're happy I went live? I'm glad I went live. I've been meaning to for like weeks and I just hadn't. What offerings do I give Santa Muerte? Usually just food offerings and flowers. I usually give her a fresh bouquet of roses once a week. Not always roses, but almost always roses, sometimes lilies. I like to change it up sometimes, but definitely roses once a week. I try to put a meal, different kinds of meals, a lot of sweets like cake, cookies, sodas like the bottled Coca-Cola type of stuff, sweets. If I'm at the altar, like praying at the altar, then I will give I'll usually light incense, um, things like that. Nothing out of the ordinary. And I guess yeah, there have been other instances where I've given like very unique offerings, but generally roses, sweets, and sweet drinks, definitely, and candy sometimes. First time catching me live. I've only gone live, I think maybe one other time, in recent memory. But yeah, I made a post on Instagram, and I made an Instagram story that I was going live. But I'm gonna try to go live again, probably around this time again on sometime in the next week or two. There was a Spanish king who had a son, and Jesus was modeled after his son. Very European interpretation. I don't know how to read. Of Jesus doesn't matter much because he can look however he wants to. To be honest, yeah, yeah. I remember seeing like a documentary about how the modern depiction of Jesus with like the beard and the long hair and the pale skin. He basically was modeled after um, this guy like a couple of centuries ago, and everything, all the Christian pictures we see and all like the Christian shops and all the churches, all the crucifixes, they're really just made in the likeness of this random guy from like a castle or something. Um, but yeah, yeah. Um, uh, I will end this live in 5 minutes. So ask any questions you want, whatever you want to know. If you want to know anything about me, you can go ahead and ask. I will answer. And if any of you don't follow me on Instagram, you should definitely do so. It's the same handle as my YouTube account. I um I try to post something to Instagram every day. I post a lot of pictures with like different songs that I like. Um Yeah, I feel like I update Instagram more than I update my YouTube community tab. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you should definitely do so. Plus, if I go live, I will make a post, like a story about it on Instagram. So there's that. Let's see, it's 2 o'clock for me right now. I'll stay until 2:05. Stacy, hello, how are you doing? Thank you for the compliment on my channel. I have a lot more videos to post. I was looking at my channel yesterday. I think I only have 174 videos or something like that. I would have thought I was already at 200. How long have I been a devotee? Do my parents know? My parents know, but haven't said anything and probably don't care much. I've been a devotee a few years, not super long. I feel like people might assume it's been a long time. I think it's been maybe, I don't know anymore, maybe 5 years. Not that long, honestly. I would consider that very long. My parents don't know anything about me, honestly. Like I think I've met my father like 3 times in my whole life. My mother, yeah, no. I mean, they don't know anything about um, my personal spiritual path, or she might. I don't know, honestly. We've never really talked about it, honestly. We're not a particularly religious family. Um, I don't think she would be bothered one way or another. What kind of art am I up to lately? I haven't made any real artwork lately. Mostly I just absentmindedly have been doodling and coloring them, but mostly I've just been drawing a lot of pictures of like my artwork that I draw is mostly just like little cartoony, like cartoon characters. It's not really detailed professional artwork. Um, yeah, mostly lately I've been drawing a lot of like hockey players because I've recently just got super into hockey. So they're like little cartoony, like hockey players or something. But I don't know if I have any around anywhere. Maybe I can find one. Let me see. Uh, Actually, you know what? It's not a very good drawing. I don't want to show it. But I'll make a post on Instagram and I'll post some of my random drawings and you can see them for yourself. What hockey team do I cheer for? Definitely the Oilers, the Edmonton Oilers, for sure. You want to see? Okay. It's not professional. Let's see. It's my bullet journal. Yeah, I like the Edmonton Oilers a lot. Do I want to show this? Let's see. I want to show something incriminating. Looks kind of like that. Can you see that? It's not very good. It's just a doodle. They're just doodles. They're not art that I took my time to draw well. I don't know about that. Plus, I don't draw in pencil. Usually I draw in pen, and if I make a mistake, I don't erase it. I just color it. Yellow is the best color. Uh, yellow was actually my favorite color for a long time. Um, oh, you like the Blackhawks? I mean, they're a team. They're definitely a team. Yeah, I definitely like the Oilers a lot. And if I had to pick a second team, probably maybe the Maple Leafs. I'm not sure. Um, let's see. Did I miss anything? I relate to that. I'm one of the only spiritual people in my family. Fortunately, if you had children, would I raise them knowing about Santa Muerte? I would definitely raise them knowing about her, but it's not like I would raise them to know about her. It's just she's just such a big part of my life. There's no way they wouldn't know of her. I would not expect them to be devotees or ask that of them. I think everyone's spiritual path is their own to take. But I'm gonna end my stream here, and thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you hopefully soon with a new video. So take care, and bye.